Hello! Welcome back to my channel. I guess I'm making a jingle now, who knew? I hope everybody's been doing well. Happy Sunday. Here we are. I'm getting better at being consistent. It's been a rough week. I don't know how everybody else has felt, but it's been a rough week. I also might have a ridiculous amount of energy today. I've had more chocolate and caffeine than I've had actual food and water. So this will be very fun and interesting for all of us. I might get really awkward, more so than normal, and very tongue-tied. So it's gonna be great. So the video that we're gonna watch today was actually a request that someone sent me in an email. So we're gonna watch one of my favorite ones. I say that every time, but this is actually not a BTS video. It's JIMIN, but it's not the full group. This is for Gayo Daejeon back in 2016. JIMIN and a bunch of the other art majors from different idol groups got together and did a short, oh no, I put my chocolate in the sun. Sorry, did a short contemporary piece together and also a short hip-hop-ish piece together. So we're gonna watch, I think the highest quality one that I could find that was focused mostly on JIMIN was the Bangtan. So that's what we're gonna watch. Also, it was, I think my brother follows me on here and it was his birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Michael, if you're watching this. So yeah, hope it was awesome. So yeah, here we go. I think that was all I wanted to say. For those of you that know me, that don't know me, my name's Erica. I've been in Army since 2013. I've already seen this video, so it's not really a reaction, and we're mostly just gonna talk about it. Yep, okay, I'm done. Ready? Whoever this dancer in the front is, she's lovely. She has a really beautiful neckline, and she's a very strong back. The one with the collar on. Now, I want to bring the attention really quickly here to the accents that JIMIN puts on his music in comparison to the ladies behind him, because the intention is very different. We'll talk about it after it's done, because I get yelled at. Oh, she's so pretty. The stag jump. So is that. Nope. And it's doing some chaîné turns up there. JIMIN has a very particular personality that he puts on when he does any kind of contemporary dance like this. That's lovely. She is so pretty. I don't know who she is. And then here we go. What's interesting about JIMIN is he is the same hip-hop dancer as he is a contemporary dancer, which honestly I think is kind of rare. What I mean by that is sometimes when different dancers dance different styles, they're almost unrecognizable in a separate style. And it's like a different person is dancing. But when he does both contemporary and hip hop, his quality of movement, there we go, those are the right words, are very similar, is very similar. I don't know, my brain's not working. So started buffering there for a second. When you watch JIMIN, I am not certain of who all of the other dancers in these two pieces are. I know that Red Velvet's in it. I think it's Yeri. And then N from VIX is in it. He's the other man. But those are the only ones that I know for sure. And when you watch JIMIN in comparison to the two ladies that are behind him when he starts to do this contemporary piece, you'll see how exaggerated, not in a bad way, his movements are. So like if the step, for example, is to like put your arm up and your head follows it, the ladies will do so very gently, and JIMIN will be very, the rest of his body reacts to his movement. So it's not just a singular body part that's moving, but the rest of his body is also involved. So you kind of watch it as a ripple effect through his body as he's moving. It's really nice. It's also one of the things that brings your attention to JIMIN and he's dancing, is he is really fulfilling all of the movement and the steps to their fullest, as opposed to just making a gesture, which was one of the things when I was learning the 2019 version of with the scarf, when I do videos, I rewatch the dance takes over and over and over again to try to figure out what I can tweak. So when I post something, normally it's like a heavily rehearsed something, because I've done it over and over and over again to find one that embodies the quality that I want, and also the vibe of the song and what the original artist was doing. So when I was learning that, I'm a ballet dancer. I do contemporary ballet, but I'm classically trained ballet dancer. Like that's what I do every day. I take ballet class and point shoes, and I was just raised in tutus. So when I was learning that piece from JIMIN, it was probably the 6th or the 7th take of it at that park that I was working on it in, when I realized that I was restraining myself too much for what the choreography entailed, because I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get it to look the way that JIMIN did, because like the steps themselves were not that difficult. Like they're not crazy complicated steps, but the quality with which he does them was really mind-boggling to me, because I couldn't get it to look right. I just looked like a ballerina doing a bunch of steps, and that was not what I was going for. And I have to unwind my legs, my foot's falling asleep. And I couldn't figure out what it was that was different about my dance and his. And what I ended up figuring out was JIMIN has so much control over his body that he's able to let it be out of control to a point where he can rein it back in when it's needed. So honestly, the take that's up on YouTube was after I kind of came to that realization and let myself like almost knock myself over for things. Like I put so much energy and so much momentum into the steps and turns and jumps, and I threw my head off the axis, and I gave my arms a little bit more power and momentum behind them as I did steps, and it made all of the difference. It wasn't still anywhere close to his level of energy that he has when he does those things, but it made a very large difference. And when you look at a great example of that is in this piece, because normally we see JIMIN doing contemporary dance on his own, and all of those ladies were lovely dancers. Gosh, what's her face with the big neck thing, the ruffle, and she had reddish hair, darker, it was dark but it was parted and down in a bun. She was a lovely dancer. I don't know who she is, but she was beautiful. But none of those dancers were poor dancers by any means, but they're doing the same steps as him, and you watch them do the same choreography, but the quality with which that he does it is very different. So he has a really, no wonder he's exhausted after he gets off stage, because it's so much energy to do that kind of, like, dancers work their whole lives to be in control and very poised with their body, but the way that he throws his weight around as he dances is so hard to control coming out of. So it's beautiful in the moment, but like doing a turn or a jump that throws your head back with that amount of momentum is really risky to land. It's fun, it's exhilarating, but it's risky because you have to have an obscene amount of muscle control to rein that much power back in. Ballet is one of those things that's power under restraint. And the way that Jimin dances is a very similar take on that. You can tell that he's a very powerful, compact human with a lot of muscle strength. Jimin is funny because when he dances contemporary movement, he puts on this similar persona for pretty much all of the things. Like his eyes kind of half close. I don't know, it's like when you're reading a novel and they're talking about like that half-lidded gaze, that's kind of what Jimin gets when he does contemporary dance. And his head, it's not similar, so like Jungkook goes this way, but Jimin like goes this way with his forehead, and his neck actually elongates from the back, which is a very dancer thing to do. And you can tell that he's working on his breath control, which is one of the things that contributes to his movement. You also see him put a lot of tension into his hands, which might be where he holds tension. Every body holds tension in a different place. A lot of my students hold it in their neck, which is very problematic for them when they start to turn because they can't spot. So yeah, and then, random aerial there. It's fascinating. I don't go upside down. I'm not good at it. I was dropped on my head a couple of years ago going upside down. My partner dropped me. So that was a great fun time in the hospital. So I don't really like to go upside down, but he is a fabulous jumper, as we know. And the height that he's able to get jumping is one of the things that contributes to his success when he goes and does aerials and stuff like that. Because the more space that you have between you and the floor, the easier it is to get your legs back down in time. And then you see that same personality and that same movement quality of his in the hip-hop-y section. The girl in front of him, I think that's the Red Velvet lady, clearly does not know the choreography. And while she's a lovely dancer, it's funny to watch her glancing at Jimin and then him glancing back because he realizes she doesn't know the choreography, and she's trying to learn it from him and do it with him while he's standing next to her. So that's really cute. Sometimes when you get on stage, you blank. That's just what dancers, that's just a thing that we do. And sometimes it's easy to hide and sometimes it's not. I had a partner in high school when we were doing one of our performances, I had a partner forget that he was supposed to come and partner me. And he was in the back with the core and he was just swaying and I was in the front, supposed to be lifted in the air, and I just started making stuff up because he wasn't there, and I just started making stuff up for like 4 counts of 8 because he forgot. He was just not there. It's a thing that happens. It's normal. It's very normal, and it's how you cover it that makes you that kind of defines you as a dancer. So I tell my students that all the time. If you forget, just make it up. Just keep going. Just keep going until you remember what you're doing. So yeah, thank you to the lady that sent me this in an email. It was nice to watch that video again. And I'm working on compiling all of your requests for videos. So yeah, I'm excited for new music. Can't wait. Hopefully I will be able to dance a little bit to it by the time that it comes out. I need them to stop releasing photo books because it's setting unrealistic expectations for men in my life. And I really like that to stop. So that would be nice. I'd appreciate it. I love you guys, and I hope that you are having a fabulous beginning of spring, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.